thought it'd be quite fun to do some more anime characters as dragons. So here we are for part 2. Let's bring these illustrations to life.
That's your name. Many thanks for the info, and here's the rest of your payment. Good old Erronfold gives you my thanks.
The person who gave the information on the dragons of this new region left, and Erronfold got up and was about to leave when a mysterious person on the table behind him called for his attention.
Hey you! You're after information on dragons in the region, aren't you? I'll give you some information for a drink or a meal. I can assure you, it's good information. Well, I think I can spare a meal to hear a good old tale or two about a dragon, and a few more beasties, in hopes there'll be some powerful sounding ones at least. Oh, trust me, there are. There's one that gets stronger and stronger the more it battles. I mean, seriously on another level. Compared to the average dragon, that is. Well, in that case, let's get started then, shall we? Barkeep! There's a glint in your eyes. You're a bit of a battle junkie. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll start with a dragon that I mentioned, the one that gets stronger and stronger as it fights. This dragon has a rather strange appearance and is known to many as the Ichigami dragon. It looks somewhat like a monk or a priest warrior. However, its tail is like that of a giant sword, and it's almost as tall as its body. The tail joins to the main body by what looks like a fabric-y type material. We're not sure if it is fabric or part of the dragon's skin, but it's as tough as any metal. However, it's so flexible it can be used to swing the sword around or the tail around like it was a chained weapon of some form. This makes the attacks from the Ichigami dragon unpredictable and much more deadly. Many adventurers have been slashed down by this dragon in mere moments. This is before the dragon gets warmed up or even uses a fraction of its strength. Have you ever heard of a Ichigami?
What's that, lad? A Ichigo what? Many a beast I've slain, but good old Erronfold. First time I be hearing that name.
Well, it's a creature that sends souls on to the next place in the hereafter. And that's what they say anyway. It's thought that the Ichigami has the ability to attack the soul of its opponent. Those who do not have a strong soul will pass out or die in the mere presence of this creature. Anyone who can stand the pressure and fight back will be subjected to more and more of this spiritual pressure, as it were. Of course, that's not the only attack this one has. The main attack that can slice through mountains. A giant blast of energy is fired from a swing of its tail that looks like a crescent moon flying through the air. The speed of which is so fast, it sounds like a howling sound. The few who have seen this attack refer to it as a howling moon attack.
That does sound like a beast worth doing battle with. I think that could be a fun one. Good old little adventure for Erronfold here. And as you mentioned earlier, lad, an enjoyment of battle with beasties I have.
I can see that. Well, there are a few more interesting dragons to tell you about. How about one that will test your wits to the limits? Do you want to hear more about them?
Aye, I wonder what manner of beasties you have to tell me about.
Since you want to know about a rather interesting dragon that will put your wits to the test, let me tell you about the Vanishing Phantom Drake.
A Vanishing Phantom Drake, you say? Sounds an interesting name. Do tell me more of this beastie.
Well, the thing with this species of dragon is, it's not very strong physically. Compared to other dragons, it's actually extremely weak. However, it's far from easy to battle. This creature is an expert in observation, and its streamlined body allows for quick, short, terrifying battles.
Weaker than other dragons, you say? So why is this beast one that'll test your wits then? You did say Vanishing Phantom Drake, so I guess it can turn invisible like a few beasties I've encountered.
Well, even though it's not that strong physically, it is able to take the perfect moment to move, and using its high intelligence, there's a couple of attacks this Drake has that enables it to take out many adventurer, even those that are much more stronger than it, before they even have a chance to make an attack. The reason is the Vanishing Phantom Drake observes the enemy in full, before making a move in the right direction at the right moment, fully making use of misdirection. This creature will make sure that your attention is not on it due to its rather weak and small body, and its seemingly plain and non-intriguing appearance. If you're not hyper-focused, you'll forget the Drake's even there until it appears right in front of you in your gaze.
This does sound like a rather fun beastie after all.
Got your interest, it seems. The attack of this creature is what gives it the name the Vanishing Phantom Drake. This creature appears to vanish right in front of your eyes. No one is really sure the trick it uses, but it's there just as you go to attack, and then the next second it's gone. This even works when the Drake charges at its opponent. The only thing we have noticed is that the ability seems to get weaker and weaker over time. There's a rumour about a member of this species using this ability to the point that others around it seem to disappear.
What? How can he make other things disappear?
It is just a rumour. One that hasn't been confirmed, but this Drake species is an extremely dangerous one to deal with, but also one that will keep you on your toes with its vanishing attacks. This one is also known to occasionally hang around with a group of unique dragons that are forced to be reckoned with. Not sure why they meet up, but it seems to be some form of interspecies event with these dragons. Within the region, it's definitely a mystery, but no one seems to be able to get close enough. Well, no one's really crazy enough to try and get close to them.
Perhaps good old Erronfold here shall pay a visit to give these dragons a battle. Har.
Since you want to do something that crazy, maybe I should tell you about perhaps the strongest dragon within the kingdom, and it's one that even the top adventurers and dragon slayers have failed to deal with at that. In fact, they've all met their doom. Not a single one has survived. Are you sure you want to hear more about this one?
Aye lad, me blood and bones can't help but get excited when I think about battling a strong opponent.
Since that's what you want, I guess I should tell you about this one in more detail. This is perhaps the coolest and most deadliest dragon I've ever seen or heard tell of. The strangest thing about this dragon is that it has a blindfold on its face and a kind of scaled collar around its neck. Purple in colour with lighter scales, kind of like a whitish colour similar to its mane. This dragon isn't blind, but it does have a condition that causes it to rarely show its eyes. Rumour has it the eyes of this creature can see the slightest presence of energy in the world around it. That being said, this dragon has won every battle, and even larger and titanic creatures are cautious not to get into battle with it, respecting its territory and even submitting to it.
I can feel my blood starting to boil. Might have to pay this one a visit first. Har.
This might be the last dragon you ever encounter. You might as well know everything we kind of know about it from this tale, although I don't expect you to return. This one has a few abilities that make it so fearsome. The first is the amount of energy within its body is off the charts. I mean, it seems to have limitless energy. It can use a high-powered spell known as a domain multiple times without causing it to be tired. It can also use the energy and domain within a matter of seconds. It has a red and blue aura that allows it to control space, the distance between objects around it. Using the energy from its body, this dragon is able to stop time for a set period, that is. In its most common form, although another more mysterious ability it's got is that when it attacks, the attacks seem to take forever to hit. The closer they get to the creature, in fact, almost all the attacks seem to be going on forever until they dwindle out, never really reaching their target. The other thing that's been seen is the attacks are repelled by some unknown force. We think it's the ability of this dragon, but it's far from anything that we've ever seen before. The closest thing, it's not even comparable in comparison. The final ability is one that's a bit of a pain to deal with, as if the rest weren't, but this dragon can create a form of barrier around it, or around an opponent to trap it. Usually it uses this when groups of opponents attack, but this creature doesn't really need to do that. It's a way of making the fight last longer to stop it getting bored. The speed and the strength of this dragon is so fast that the fight is normally over in a matter of seconds. Possibly longer if you get lucky, but that's only when it's in the mood to play with its prey.
And where can I find this beastie?
Are you really sure you want to do this? Every adventurer, every slayer, in fact anybody who has gone against this beast has died. It even wiped out a whole kingdom at one point. It was there 1 second, gone the next. Buildings, the whole place, nothing was left. I wouldn't recommend fighting it if I were you.
Aye lad, I'm sure. I just need to know 2 things. What's the name of this beast? And where can I find it to slay?
There you have it. Really enjoyed bringing these characters to life in Anime Dragons Part 2. I hope you did as well. Let me know any more suggestions in the comments below. I am thinking of doing a Naruto character at some point, which would be quite interesting in this, as well as maybe an Attack on Titan and a few other series, which would be quite fun. Wednesday It's a live stream, and if you've got any ideas for that, be sure to let me know in the comments as well. It's going to be put into kind of like a spinning wheel selector, and we'll see which one wins. Also, don't forget, the December redraw is open now. Details are linked in the description of this video, as well as in the November community redraw video. So be sure to get your submissions in. Stay safe, everybody. Catch you next time.